Exposed, the incredible journey of a janitor's daughter who revealed her father's hidden genius. Lily stood atop a pile of forgotten memories in the cluttered old garage, dust swirling around her like fairy tale magic. Sunlight streamed through the cracked window, illuminating a hidden world of gears, bolts, and drawings, all remnants of her father's secret life. A spark of excitement danced in her chest. Her janitor dad, Frank, had crafted incredible inventions that could change lives, yet here they were, shrouded in neglect. She felt an overwhelming mix of pride and disbelief wash over her. Her father's genius was buried beneath the weight of those long shifts spent cleaning classrooms and offices, while the smell of fried chicken wafted through the streets. Lily's heart raced. Thoughts of the classmates who whispered behind her back bubbled to the surface. The daughter of a blue-collar worker? What did they know of dreams? They didn't see the brilliance that lit her father's eyes, the spark of an inventor lost in the mundane. But this massive hodgepodge of engineering wonders could be her ticket to the American dream, a chance to elevate her family from the shadows. Weeks poured into days as Lily strategized for the local innovation fair. She gathered materials, drew sketches, and practiced her pitch, her pulse quickening with each new step. She felt the fire igniting inside her, fueled by the passions of a girl who saw the genius in her father and intended to share it with a world that turned a blind eye. Yet as she immersed herself deeper into her plan, the harsh reality of societal prejudice revealed itself. The wealthy kids, clad in lavish sneakers and designer shirts, shot her scornful glances, dismissing her like a withered flower. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. Determination sprang from her core, and she rallied support from unlikely friends, a quirky group of classmates who admired her bravery. They held late-night brainstorming sessions, sipping soda and sharing dreams under the glow of fairy lights, their laughter a fearless melody that rang through the empty spaces of her heart. Yet the shadows lurked. Her wealthy rival, Jason, glided through the hallways like a ghost, whispering taunts that sent chills down her spine and stoking fear into her heart. The day of the fair loomed ahead, and her stomach twisted with each passing hour.
She envisioned her father, worn down but proud, watching her unveil his masterpieces, his long-hidden dreams magnified before the community that earlier overlooked him. But just as doubt crept in like a thief in the night, the whispers of her father's past reached her, tales of failure and shame that threatened to drown her hopeful spirit. Then, in the final moments before her presentation, standing before the audience, she took a deep breath. Courage surged through her like a tidal wave. With inventions waiting to burst forth into the light, and a heart laced with both love and fear, Lily was ready to challenge the world to see beyond the barriers of class and privilege. Would they grasp the brilliance hidden within her father's creations, or would she set her family's legacy adrift into obscurity? All her hopes rested on that moment. Lily stood at the edge of the stage, her palms clammy, and her heart thumping a wild rhythm in her chest. She took in the faces staring back at her, some filled with curiosity, others with skepticism. The nervous energy swirling around her felt like a storm about to break. This was it, the moment she had been waiting for, the culmination of weeks of sleepless nights and unwavering determination. She cleared her throat, feeling the weight of her father's dreams pressing against her shoulders. "Hello, everyone," she began, her voice wavering slightly. "Today, I want to share something special, something my dad created." She gestured towards the makeshift display of his inventions, a chaotic but beautiful representation of his brilliance. The whirring gears blended with her pounding heart as she tried to center herself. The first invention was a simple water purification system, crafted from old pipes and bottles. It wasn't elaborate, but it could change lives and communities without clean water. "This is my dad's water filter," she explained. "It shows that ingenuity doesn't come from fancy labs. It comes from a mind that refuses to give up." As she spoke, she caught Jason's gaze in the back of the crowd. His smirk was a tight line of contempt. But in that moment, she chose to focus on the younger kids leaning forward with interest, wide eyes full of wonder. That spark of curiosity fueled her resolve. With each invention she unveiled, her confidence grew. A solar-powered battery charger, perfect for rural areas without electricity. A device that turned wasted food into energy. Her dad always told her how much food ended up in landfills while people went hungry. She wove personal stories and technical details into her presentation, transforming her father's inventions into threads of hope and potential. Each of these inventions is a testament to the idea that anyone can make a difference, Lily said, her voice gaining strength. My dad isn't just a janitor, he's an inventor, and he taught me that true genius comes from perseverance, out of a necessity to improve what we have. As she wrapped up, she felt the weight of 1,000 eyes. For a moment, time froze. She looked beyond the harsh whispers of judgment and saw the faces of her dad, her friends, and the few supportive classmates who believed in her. Then, she took a deep breath and added a final punch. Sometimes it takes a little girl to remind us that magic can be found in the ordinary. Just because society wants to label us doesn't mean we have to accept it. The silence in the room hung thick for a moment before the applause erupted like a thunderstorm, shaking the very foundations of her fears. She stood there, overwhelmed with emotion, heart brimming with pride for her father and his legacy. But as the cheers died down, she caught a glimpse of Jason pushing through the crowd, his expression dark and determined. He wasn't done yet. The fear she had momentarily set aside began to creep back in, a whisper of doubt weaving through the cheers. What challenge would he throw at her next? Would her moment of triumph lead to a new battle? Lily's heart raced again, this time with a different kind of anticipation. Could she prove that her father's genius was unstoppable, just like the spirit that carried her through this moment? Only time would tell. Lily descended from the stage, applause still ringing in her ears, but her triumph felt fragile as she spotted Jason advancing. He cut through the crowd like a dark cloud, radiating resentment. The excitement from her presentation faded as his hard gaze locked onto hers, a reminder that not everyone would share in her joy. The room buzzed with discussions, but Lily couldn't pick up the words. Instead, her heartbeat thudded against the backdrop of her dreams. What would he do now? When he finally reached her, his face twisted with bitterness. Nice show, Lily, he sneered, a mockery dripping from each word. But do you really think any of that matters? As if anyone here actually cares about your dad's inventions? His voice spit the last word like it was a bitter pill. She straightened, a fiery determination igniting in her chest. They are important, she shot back, her voice steadier than she felt. You just don't see past your own ego. Jason's expression darkened, and a tight silence fell around them. People nearby turned to watch, curiosity flickering in their eyes. What are you even trying to prove? He challenged. That a janitor's daughter can be an inventor? Give me a break. You're just setting yourself up for failure. For a split second, doubt pulled at her confidence. What if he was right? But in that moment of vulnerability, Lily felt the weight of her father's legacy behind her. She looked around, seeing supportive faces, those who had cheered for her, who believed in her. They were all watching. I'm proving that anyone can make a difference, she replied, a new fire igniting in her words, and that you can't let anyone else define who you are or what you can achieve.
Jason rolled his eyes, clearly unimpressed. Keep dreaming, Lily. Let's see how far that gets you when reality hits. With that, he turned and walked away, leaving a wave of tension buzzing in the air. As she returned to the sidelines, several classmates approached with wide smiles, their earlier skepticism washed away. One girl stepped forward, her voice brightening the moment. I loved what you said. Your dad's inventions are amazing. I'm going to tell my dad about them. Lily's heart swelled. The genuine excitement in the girl's voice was the kind of encouragement she needed. Thank you. It means a lot to me. My father poured his heart into these. While chats flared up around her, Lily felt a sense of unity forming. They might have different backgrounds, but they shared a common hope. Together, they could challenge the notion that greatness belonged only to the privileged few. Suddenly, her teacher, Miss Ramirez, approached, her face alight with pride. You were incredible up there, Lily. I've never heard anyone speak so passionately. The compliment warmed Lily's soul. But deep inside her mind, the seed of challenge Jason had planted was still there, rooting itself with uncomfortable persistence. Thank you, Miss Ramirez. I hope I can make a real difference, she admitted, her earlier confidence flickering slightly. Miss Ramirez smiled knowingly. You already have. Just remember, everyone faces obstacles. It's how you respond that counts. As the evening wore on, the energy of camaraderie surged through Lily. Hope intertwined with doubt as she glanced at the inventions. Each one held a story, a potential future waiting to be realized. But Jason's words echoed persistently. What would happen when she took her father's inventions beyond this auditorium? Would they really change lives? Or would she find herself lost in the same labels that Jason wore like armor? With a deep breath, she resolved to find out. That was just the beginning.
The night was an emotional tapestry of promise and uncertainty, and as she stepped outside into the cool evening air, anticipation hummed in her veins. Tomorrow would bring fresh challenges, yet deep down she knew one thing for sure: she wasn't backing down. What lay ahead could shatter her dreams or elevate them to new heights, but she vowed to find out. Would she gather the strength to face the rising tide, or would she let the waves wash her away? The answers were just out of reach, but she was ready to dive underneath. Lily stood under the streetlight, the flickering bulb casting a warm glow around her. The evening chill sent a shiver through her, but the real temperature change was inside her chest, warmth mixed with uncertainty, coiling around her heart like a stubborn vine. What did Jason know about her dreams that she didn't? She shook her head and focused her thoughts. Tomorrow was a new day, a new chance to start leveraging her father's inventions.
The night spent in the garage, surrounded by the smell of oil and the echo of metal clinking, replayed in her mind like a cherished film. But now, how could she share that vision? How could she show others the beauty and potential within each creation without the fear of ridicule standing in her way? As she walked home, her thoughts drifted to what Miss Ramirez had said. Obstacles were part of the journey. But did those obstacles include her own doubts? She felt like she was straddling two worlds. One was filled with her father's hopes and dreams, the world of invention, ingenuity, and boundless possibilities. The other was a harsh reality depicted in Jason's sneers and judgment, where dreams didn't sprout from dirt, but were reserved for the privileged. When she entered her house, the familiar smell of dinner wafted through the air. Her mother was already at the stove, working on a dish Lily recognized well. "How did it go tonight?" her mom asked, a smile lighting up her face as she turned to look at her. "It was good. I presented Dad's inventions," Lily replied, watching her mother's eyes widen with pride. "Of course you did. I've always known you'd follow in his footsteps," her mom said, a twinkle in her eyes. "You amaze me every day." But there was a shadow that passed through Lily's mind, Jason's voice echoing in her head. Did her mother's pride come from a place of naivete or faith? "Mom," she asked hesitantly, "do you think everyone will see Dad's ideas like you do?" Her mother paused, wiping her hands on a kitchen towel. "Some people may not appreciate them at first, but that doesn't mean they aren't valuable. Remember, the right people will recognize the brilliance." Lily felt a push of energy. Maybe she could find those people. Maybe if she dared to step away from shadows, a bold venture in a world filled with sunlight. The next day, she plotted out a plan. She'd start small, maybe reach out to local community groups, bring her inventions to schools, libraries, anywhere that would have her. She imagined conversations flowing from product demonstrations, laughter blending with ideas. Would people want to touch and feel what her father had created? But doubt again wormed its way into her thoughts. What if no one cared? What if she stood front and center, professing her dreams, only to be met with yawns and rolled eyes? She felt panic rising. Just then, her phone buzzed, pulling her from her reverie. It was a message from one of her classmates, inviting her to a local science fair happening in a few weeks. "You should totally enter, Lily. They'll love your inventions." Her pulse quickened. It wasn't just an invitation. It felt like an opportunity beckoning. In that moment, she leaned forward into the challenge. She could dazzle them, or, at the very least, make them think. Yet, as excitement surged through her, that familiar, bitter whisper of doubt returned. What will Jason say when he finds out? Would he try to undermine her efforts? All those thoughts collided within her, tossing her emotions as wildly as a tempest at sea. But she had to overcome it. She was tired of living in the shadows of expectations, tired of being tangled in someone else's definition of who she should be. And for the first time, she wasn't just ready to dive into the currents, she was ready to swim against the tide. That night, sleep eluded her, and as she lay awake, her mind buzzed with what tomorrow could hold. Could she prove Jason wrong and show everyone that dreams could stem from any background? With newfound determination tingling down her spine, Lily whispered to the darkness, "I will make a difference." But just as she felt the weight of hope shift in her favor, a flicker of anxiety flashed across her mind. Would she stumble into the very reality Jason predicted? As the dawn broke, the air was ripe with possibility, but Lily knew challenges loomed just ahead. Her journey had only just begun,
and she had to face her fears head-on. Would she rise to the occasion, or would doubt drag her down again? The answers would soon be revealed. The sun streamed through Lily's window, casting playful patterns on the floor. She blinked against the light, feeling its warmth seep into her bones. Today felt different. She had made a promise to herself, and now it was time to turn that promise into action. With each passing moment, the drumbeat of her heart matched the rhythm of her thoughts. Lily tossed back the covers and got ready. Today wasn't just another day. It was the day she would start reaching out. She wanted to show the world what her father had created, the dream that had lived in her heart for so long. It was more than ambition. It was a legacy. Breakfast was a whirlwind of activity. Her mother poured cereal into a bowl, steamy coffee swirling beside her. "Are you excited for the science fair?" her mom asked, glancing up with a knowing smile. "Yeah, I think so," Lily replied, although the word was laced with a hint of uncertainty. "Just remember, sweetheart, it's about sharing your passion. People can feel that kind of energy," her mom said, a twinkle in her eye. Lily nodded. Passion. That was the fire she needed to spread, but how would she ignite it? She finished up and set off toward the community center, her heart pounding with anticipation and fear. Each step felt monumental, like a leap into the unknown. When she arrived, she took a deep breath outside the entrance. The building was bustling with families, kids darting about, their laughter ringing in the air. She could almost hear the echoes of her father's laughter in her mind, a reminder of the joy that inventing had given him. As she walked inside, the smell of popcorn and hot dogs filled the air, sending her thoughts down memory lane. She remembered weekends spent with her father, trying out new gadgets made from leftover materials in the garage. In those moments, they were creators together, a team against the world.
Today, she hoped to feel that same connection, but this time as the leader of her own journey. After a few introductions, she found herself standing in front of a table filled with her father's inventions. She hesitated for a moment, the weight of that beginning overwhelming. What if the people here saw them and thought they were silly? What if they laughed? But then she remembered her mother's words. The right people will recognize the brilliance. With shaky hands, she began to set up her display, arranging the items with care. A small crowd started to gather. She took a deep breath, collecting her thoughts. This was her moment. "Hi everyone, I'm Lily, and today I'd like to show you some inventions my father created," she started, her voice firm but shaky. Eyes turned to her, filled with curiosity. As she spoke, something unexpected happened. She felt a spark, a current of electricity in the air. With each explanation, her confidence grew. She demonstrated how each invention worked, and when she looked up, she saw nods of understanding, smiles breaking out among the crowd. A boy raised his hand. "How does that thing work?" he asked, eyes wide with intrigue. No one ever asks how it works, she thought, her heart swelling. With each interaction, she was challenging her doubts, inch by inch. They weren't just looking, they were listening. But just as she began to feel a surge of pride, a familiar voice broke through the energy of the room, one that made her stomach drop. "Really, Lily? You think anyone cares about this junk?" Jason emerged from the crowd, arms crossed, a smirk plastered across his face. The snickers from his friend sent a chill down her spine. Doubt flooded back in like a tide she couldn't resist. "Things that come from the so-called privileged will always overshadow what you're trying to do," he continued, his tone dripping with disdain. Lily's heart raced. She was standing on the edge of the battle she'd been preparing for. Did his words hold any truth? Just as she was about to falter, the boy who had asked about her invention chimed in. "That's not true. I think it's awesome." The tide shifted. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. They were on her side. Lily's confidence surged back. This was her moment. She couldn't let Jason define who she was. "Thank you," she said to the boy, before turning to face Jason and the crowd. "These inventions are not just junk. They have potential. They represent creativity and hard work, and I want to share that with the world." But even as the energy shifted back in her favor, Lily felt a new storm brewing inside. What if she couldn't keep this momentum? What if Jason and his friends demoralized her again? The fair continued around her, and she knew that her journey was far from over. How could she establish her passion in a space that felt so divided? With hope battling anxiety in her heart, she took a deep breath. It was clear that the path ahead would be rocky. But she was no longer just that timid girl under a flickering streetlight. She was Lily, the daughter of an inventor, and she had a story to tell. What other challenges awaited her as she fought to prove Jason wrong? The answers loomed just around the corner, and she was ready to face whatever came next. Lily felt the crowd tightening around her,
a mix of encouragement and tension. Jason crossed his arms, still standing defiantly, as if daring her to fail. He thrived on the power of belittling others, and she could sense that he wouldn't back down easily. "Doesn't matter what you say, Lily. You're just trying to show off something your dad did. What have you done?" he shot back, his voice loud enough to catch the attention of even more onlookers. But she was ready. Lily's breath caught in her chest, and for a moment she felt like she might fall apart under the spotlight of judgment. Instead, she clenched her hands into fists at her sides, drawing strength from the well of passion inside her. "I'm showing what creativity looks like, what it feels like to build something from nothing." The words rushed out, fueled by a confidence she didn't fully understand. A ripple of surprise coursed through the gathered audience. Creativity is all around us. Every day we encounter things, and every day we can create change. My dad did just that, and I want to honor that spirit. Each word seemed to resonate like a drumbeat of hope. She was no longer just the daughter of an inventor. She was Lily, a creator. Jason's smirk faltered, replaced by visible annoyance. He hadn't expected her to stand her ground. Lily felt the energy shift again, the crowd leaning in, and she saw the boy who had defended her earlier nodding encouragingly. "What was the last thing you created, Jason? Was it a joke?" One of Jason's friends started to chuckle, glancing at the crowd, which now buzzed with excitement. The laughter was infectious. She had found her footing, and every sentence felt like a step forward. "I encourage all of you to try building something. Even if it seems messy or small, it matters. It's the ideas we chase that lead us to create, and who knows where they can take us." Lily saw the light in a few pairs of eyes now, the kids who were quietly gearing up with curiosity. It was exhilarating. Jason's friends seemed unsure, glancing between him and her, weighing their options. "I'll prove I can do better," Jason shouted, but his tone dripped with uncertainty. The walls of his bravado were cracking. "You think this means anything? You're just a girl playing make-believe." "No, I'm not. This is real," she shot back. The warmth of the crowd enveloped her. "Real creations come from all kinds of backgrounds. Talent isn't just inherited, it's found through effort. You might never know what's achievable unless you take that leap."
Then she turned back toward her inventions, showcasing a small, shimmering gadget, a mini solar-powered car her father had built from scrap. "This one is powered by the sun and can help reduce pollution." Excitement bubbled between her lips as she gestured toward it. "Who knows? Maybe one day we could all drive cars like this." A ripple of cheers spread through the group, igniting something infectious. Kids began to lean over her table, peering closer at the inventions, filled with genuine curiosity now. Jason attempted to retake control, but he now stood apart from the shifting crowd, as if he were a fading shadow. He frowned but retreated. Lily could feel the moment propel her higher, her heart racing with a mix of triumph and disbelief. She had fought against doubt and won a skirmish, but as she looked around, her spine tingling with exhilaration, she realized this victory was just the beginning. Behind every invention lay countless untold stories. What other pieces of her father's world could she unlock? The fair buzzed with potential. Lily felt a surge of questions arising in her mind. What if she could inspire not just the kids here today, but others beyond this moment? As she packed up her display, glancing around at the newly captivated faces, an idea sparked. What if she organized classes or workshops to encourage kids like her father had once done? Little did she know, that bold thought would soon lead her down a path that would forever change her life and those around her. What would be the first step in this new direction? And as she left the fair that day, she couldn't shake the feeling that Jason wouldn't be quiet for long. What was his next move? Lily walked away from the fair, her heart still racing with excitement. The cheers of the crowd echoed in her mind, and a smile refused to leave her face. For the first time, she felt a spark of possibility. The idea of workshops swirled around her thoughts like vibrant colors in a painting. She could teach others to create, to explore their own potential. But even as she daydreamed, a shadow loomed ahead. Jason. She could almost sense him plotting, just out of sight. He had a way of overshadowing things, making them darker than they had to be. What if he tried to undermine her further? As she crossed the street towards home, the joy started to dull. What if he made fun of her again? What if her plans crumbled before they began? The tinkling of a nearby wind chime broke her train of thought, bringing the faintest smile back to her lips. She wouldn't let fear snuff out her enthusiasm. That evening, Lily sat at her cluttered desk, surrounded by scraps of paper, tools, and her father's inventions. She spread out a blank sheet and started sketching out ideas for her first workshop. What age group should she target? What activities could inspire her classmates? The excitement bubbled back up, her pen moving in a frenzy. Hands-on
or more about brainstorming? She murmured to herself, pondering the fusion of creativity and fun. Deep down, she craved connection. She wanted to share what she had learned from her father, the thrill of turning a simple idea into something real. Lily lost track of time, her world shrinking to just her sketches, the lingering feelings from the fair, and her ambitions stretching out like the sky before her. Each line she drew felt like a bridge she was building, connecting herself to others who might feel just as she did, lost but hopeful. But then a sudden noise jolted her back. The loud thud of a basketball echoed from the street. She peeked out the window and saw Jason with a group of boys, throwing the ball back and forth. There was a distinct laughter that cut through the air, a laughter that made her stomach twist. It wasn't just playful, it felt cruel, like the weight of a threat waiting to drop. "Lily thinks she's a creator now," Jason shouted, his voice ringing out. What a joke. Even from a distance, the laughter of the boys turned her insides cold. She could hear the mockery in their tone. Fear crept over her, and she felt a battle within, pit against a wall of intimidation. Should she confront him, or should she keep going, drawing up plans for her workshop? Determined, she shook her head, dismissing the doubts. "I can't let his words define me," she whispered firmly. "I'm more than that." It was time to prove it. With a renewed sense of purpose, she drafted a plan. The first workshop would be less about mechanics and more about stories, the heart behind creativity. "I'll show them," she exclaimed suddenly, startling her cat, who leapt off her desk in fright. Just then, she remembered that her father had left behind a scrapbook filled with notes, ideas, and memories, the blueprint of his genius. It was tucked away, hidden yet precious. She could integrate his life experiences into her teachings, genuinely reflecting who she was. As she stood up, heart racing with purpose, she made her way to the attic, every step echoing her decision. She had the power to shape her journey and the space to share it. Unsure of what else would come, she felt an inviting sense of the future. However, once in the attic, a sinking feeling took hold. A flickering bulb barely illuminated the room, casting shadows that danced like ghosts of the past. As she flipped open the scrapbook, a photograph slipped out, fluttering to the floor. Lily leaned down to pick it up, her breath hitching. It was a picture of her dad with a prototype, something she had never seen before. Why had he never shared this with her? Confusion mixed with excitement ignited in her chest. What did this mean for her budding workshop and career as a creator? Just at that moment, her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number lighting up the screen. "I know what you're planning, Lily, and it won't work." Her heart stalled, the weight of uncertainty crashing over her like a wave. Was Jason behind this?
What more did he know? Gaining clarity would take her deeper into a journey she hadn't expected. What had she awakened with her public display of creativity? She braced herself for whatever lay ahead, realizing the road ahead was likely full of obstacles. What would she discover about her father's inventions? And would she be ready to face the backlash that was sure to come? With trembling fingers, Lily stared at the screen. The message seemed to echo in her mind. It felt like a challenge, a taunt from Jason that resonated with all his past remarks. "What won't work?" she whispered, feeling a knot tighten in her stomach. She took a deep breath, trying to push the fear aside. It was a new day, one that could mark the beginning of many new adventures, or misadventures, depending on how she played her cards. She gripped the scrapbook firmly and turned back to the photos scattered across the pages. Some were of her father with various gadgets, all different shapes and sizes. Each one carried a piece of his heart, the magic he poured into his inventions. What if these inventions could be the key to her workshop? They were more than just creations. They had stories, memories wrapped in love and diligence. With renewed determination, she tucked her phone into her pocket and flipped through the pages. One photograph caught her attention, a contraption that looked like a mix of a clock and a music box. Her heart raced at the possibility of using his inventions to inspire creativity in others. But then, doubt crept in again. What if Jason's message meant he'd sabotage her effort? What if he revealed her secrets to the whole school, mocking her for trying something different? She shook her head violently, a gesture against uncertainty. No, this was her chance. The shadow of fear could not bear down on her anymore.
She reached for a blank page in the scrapbook, and then she grabbed a pen. The sound of the ink scratching against paper filled her with purpose. "Okay, workshop," she said aloud. "Let's map this out." Her mind raced as she jotted ideas down, pictures beginning to form. The idea of using her father's creations as a starting point for each workshop session ignited her. She'd structure each meeting around a different invention, weaving in stories about not just the gadgets, but also the spirit behind them. As she envisioned the sessions, she could almost hear the chatter of kids laughing, creating, exploring. A warmth spread through her chest at that thought. Suddenly, the memory of Jason's laughter came crashing back. Would they laugh at her? Would parents support her? She began to hesitate, second-guessing everything. Could she really pull this off? She gathered herself, her resolve strengthening. So what if unsure voices tried to drown her out? It was her story to tell and shape. Later, pulling together materials slowly seemed to revive her spirit.
She crafted a flyer detailing her workshop idea, adding each detail carefully: the age group, the inventions they'd explore, and how they could inspire. With each stroke of her pen, she felt freer. This was her creativity bursting out, reclaiming the joy she had felt at the fair. She printed out a few flyers and prepared to post them around school, feeling like a tiny spark ready to ignite. As her heart swelled with hope, a sudden rattle from her laptop caught her off guard. There, another message from the mysterious number lit up her screen. "Don't forget who you're up against." The words slithered under her skin, prickling her nerves. Who was this, really? And was it just Jason, or was there someone else who knew her story, who would try to stop her? The excitement twisted into a new kind of fear, but she held on to the thought of the workshop and breathed through that anxiety. She wouldn't allow them to take her joy away. She stepped back, looking at the stacks of colorful flyers spread out on her desk. "Bring it on," she said defiantly, determination flooding every word. But as the door creaked open, her mother's voice called from the hallway, interrupting her thoughts. "Honey, dinner's ready." "Coming," Lily shouted, trying to shake off the shadows of the day. But as she turned to leave, her eyes caught on the attic's dim light flickering. There was something deeper waiting to be uncovered, something hidden within her father's legacy that might just give her the strength she needed. What lay in the darkness? Would it be a source of courage or another reason for doubt? With one last glance back at her workspace, she stepped out, unsure of what awaited her. But one thing was clear. She was ready to face whatever had been awakened within her father's creations. And the real question was, could she handle the truth hidden in the shadows? Lily's heart raced in her chest as she descended the stairs, the worry of Jason's taunts trailing behind her like a shadow. Dinner with her mother felt distant, like a world separate from the whirlwind of ideas and fears spinning in her mind. She could still hear the faint echo of that last message, piercing through the murmur of family chatter. "Are you okay, honey?" Her mother's voice pulled Lily back to the table, where her plate waited, steaming and fragrant. "Yeah, I'm fine," she said, forcing a smile as she picked at her food. Her mind was still in the attic, itching to explore the mysterious contraptions that had belonged to her father. Each bite felt heavy in her stomach, unappealing compared to the excitement of discovery. "Are you sure? You've been so quiet lately," her mother pressed, concern etching lines on her forehead. "Anything going on at school?" The question hung in the air, tempting Lily to open up, but as she looked into her mother's eyes, the words lodged deep in her throat. She couldn't burden her with the weight of Jason's mockery or the looming fears about her workshop. Not yet. "Just working on some projects," she finally said, trying to keep her tone light. Her mother nodded, a hint of relief washing over her features. "That's good to hear. Projects can be fun," she replied, looking back down at her plate. Feeling guilty, Lily pushed her food around, trying to concentrate on the comforting hum of their small kitchen. The walls were adorned with family photos, the happy memories capturing moments of laughter, love, and togetherness. Yet the shadows of doubt clung to her, trying to steal away the light the pictures provided. After dinner, she excused herself, the pull of the attic far too strong to resist any longer. She climbed the stairs, the wooden steps creaking underfoot as anticipation fluttered within her. Once at the door, she paused, listening. The house was quiet, save for the distant sound of her mother washing the dishes. With a deep breath, she pushed open the attic door. The dim light danced, revealing boxes and old furniture cloaked in dust. In the corner, bathed in that gentle glow,
was the spot where her father's inventions lay hidden. Each piece seemed to beckon to her, drawing her closer. There was the clock music box she had seen in the scrapbook, the gears gleaming in the soft light, as if waiting for her to breathe life back into them. She reached out, fingers grazing the smooth surface, contemplating how it had been created with love and an artistic vision. As she rummaged through the dusty treasures, a sudden noise startled her. A floorboard creaked behind her. Lily whipped around, heart thundering. The door had closed with a soft thud, plunging her into a world where she was utterly alone. "Hello?" she called out, voice trembling. There was no reply, just the eerie silence of the attic. Shadows seemed to deepen, thickening around her. Yet something indescribable hung in the air, a tingle of possibility. What if she could uncover something that would reveal who her father truly was? Lily's hands trembled, a mix of excitement and fear. She knew deep down that she had to dig deeper, not just within the boxes, but within herself. What lay under the dust was more than just inventions. It was a part of her father's legacy waiting to empower her. But just as she began to leaf through some papers, she remembered the flicker of Jason's message, the lurking threat, the challenge he had issued. "Don't forget who you're up against." Swallowing hard, she pressed her lips together. She was ready to face not only the truths hidden in the attic, but also the battle of her own spirit against that growing fear from Jason. And in this moment, she realized something vital. If she wanted to inspire others, she first had to inspire herself. A new resolve settled within her. She wouldn't let negativity drain her enthusiasm. And as she sifted through more papers, a glimmer of something shiny caught her eye. What if it was the answer to bringing her father's work to life again?
What had her father left behind that could guide her? With a nervous flip of her heart, she reached for the mystery object, feeling the stakes rising. But as her fingers brushed against whatever lay beneath the dust, the question lingered. Would it be a stepping stone to her dreams, or another curse shadowed by doubt? Lily took a deep breath, heart racing as she pulled the object from the depths of the box. It was a small key, simple yet intricately designed with gears that seemed to dance in the dim light of the attic. Her fingers tingled with electricity, a wave of hope washing over her. What did this key unlock? Glimmers of inspiration cascaded through her thoughts. Could it be for one of Dad's inventions? She whispered, eyes lighting up with excitement. As her mind raced with possibilities, she felt a thrill unlike any other. This key could symbolize a chance to delve deeper into her father's legacy, but it also felt like a beacon against Jason's looming threats. With a fresh sense of determination, Lily cleared a space on her desk, placing the key gently atop her papers. Her dreams were closer than ever. She could already envision her workshop bustling with kids eager to learn, surrounded by her father's inventions, all while she shared the transformative power of creativity. But thoughts of Jason gnawed at the edges of her mind. Would he find a way to undermine her efforts? Before she could spiral into fear, she shook her head, reminding herself of the support around her. There were friends who had stood by her during those early days, the ones who believed in her vision. Maybe this key represented more than just her father's past. Perhaps it was a symbol of her future, a powerful reminder that she had the strength to rise above any challenge. Fueled by determination, she decided to reach out to some trusted classmates for help organizing her first workshop. They would brainstorm how to combine family stories with hands-on activities, showcasing not only her father's inventions, but also the history that shaped their creation. She imagined laughter filling the room, transforming anxious energy into joy and collaboration. Soon after, she shot off a group message. "Hey everyone, I'm planning to hold a workshop featuring my dad's inventions. Want to collaborate?" As the replies flooded in, excitement bubbled within her. They shared encouragement, eager ideas, and plans for the future. Her heart swelled with gratitude. This was the support she had longed for, the affirmation she needed to push through the dark clouds swirling from Jason's taunts. With renewed energy, she stepped into the bright light of the next day, ready to dive headfirst into her plans. Days turned into late-night sessions where the group gathered at her home, filled with laughter and brainstorming as they decorated flyers and built many prototypes of her father's inventions.
It wasn't just about teaching. It was about creating a community filled with passion and creativity. But as the day of the workshop approached, she felt the familiar twinge of anxiety ripple through her. Jason hadn't been quiet. His presence was felt like a storm on the horizon. How would he react when her workshop came to life? The day finally arrived, and anticipation filled the air. The community center buzzed with energy, kids darting around with curiosity. Pulling herself together, Lily stood in front of the gathered audience, heart pounding, seeing familiar faces among the crowd. As she launched into her introduction, vivid memories of her father flashed through her mind. "My dad taught me that creativity is the key to overcoming obstacles," she began, her voice steadying with each word. "Today, we will explore his inventions, uncover the magic in everyday objects, and maybe, just maybe, discover the inventor within ourselves." With that, she unveiled the projects, showcasing each one proudly as the kids leaned in, faces lighting up with interest. Parents nodded appreciatively, engaging in conversations with their children as they explored the various displays. In the back, she spotted Jason, lurking like a storm cloud. But this time, doubt didn't consume her. Instead, she locked eyes with him, a fierce confidence igniting within. "Your words won't define me, Jason," she silently vowed. "I'm not backing down." The cheers of her classmates echoed in her ears, empowering her to keep moving. As the hour flew by, she guided everyone in activities, smiles blossoming around her like wildflowers. The community came alive with collaboration and creativity. The laughter and applause washed over her like a warm embrace, blanketing her in positivity. Just when she thought everything was going beautifully, Jason stepped forward, a sly smirk his only warning. "Nice little show, Lily, but we all know this won't last. You'll never escape being just a janitor's daughter." The laughter hushed, but Lily held her ground. She took a step closer, eyes sharpened with determination. "You know what, Jason? None of that matters anymore. I don't care about your labels. It's time for all of us to shed those limitations." The crowd, once electrified with anticipation, now stirred with energy. The words struck a chord, confidence unfolding like a blossoming flower. "You might want to pull your life together instead of picking on others," one of her classmates shouted, rallying more shouts of agreement from the crowd. "We believe in Lily." A wave of encouragement crashed over her. This wasn't just her victory, it was theirs. Together they stood firm against the storm Jason tried to create, embodying unity ignited by creativity. As her heart soared, she turned back to her audience. "Remember, no matter where you come from, your dreams matter. Our backgrounds don't define us. It's our actions, our perseverance that truly shapes who we are."
Creativity can change the world. The energy swelled like a tide, faces glowing. The fear dissipated. Her words resonated. This was more than just a workshop. It was a celebration of every struggle, every story, every dream. Later that day, after the last child had left, Lily gathered her belongings with a heart full of hope. Jason's presence seemed small, insignificant, in comparison to the joy radiating from her friends and community. In that moment, she realized something monumental. She had transformed not just the relationship with her father's legacy, but her own identity as well. She wasn't just a janitor's daughter. She was an inventor, a leader, a catalyst for change, igniting passion in others. As Lily stepped outside, feeling the warmth of the sun on her face, she understood the journey ahead was illuminated. The shadows of doubt had no power here. Not anymore. "Bring it on," she whispered to the universe, heart brimming with optimism, ready to embrace the future and whatever it held. And as she walked home, a new vision unfolded before her. Expanded workshops, community impact, and a legacy living brightly through her father's inventions and her own unyielding spirit. This was just the beginning. Now, as a true fan ready to support, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and keep this inspiring content alive. Comment with your reactions and feelings about this ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Help spread the light and positivity every single one of us needs right now.